Part 9, Skill Strand, Intervention and Differentiation. Please make sure you have paper or a notebook to jot down ideas and questions throughout this part. Take a few minutes and think about this question. Why do students develop different phonetic and fluency skills at different rates and times? Now pause the video and jot down your ideas on a sheet of paper or in your notebook. The objective of this part is to become familiar with the scaffolds already built into CKLA skill strand and the resources available for differentiation and intervention. As we discussed in an earlier listening and learning session, it is important to plan for differentiation and intervention, and that is equally important within the skills lesson. Differentiation in a skills lesson can look a variety of ways. There are multiple tasks that students can complete that can be tailored to their own learning needs. We are going to go over some activities that will allow you to differentiate instruction with your students. One activity you can consider is spiraling skills relating to the phonological awareness and word recognition that's taken directly from the core knowledge curriculum. Allowing students to practice matching with words, simple sentences, and work with letter patterns. Students can complete engaging activities to practice sight words, tricky words, and any other high-frequency words that will pose a challenge for students. Allow students to practice with decodable readers that is provided in the core knowledge curriculum. This will help with fluency and reading comprehension. To continue to practice fluency, allow students to whisper, partner, and/or choral read in class. And finally, additional fluency practice can be found within the core knowledge curriculum. Take a look at some of the units within the skills strand. There are several resources available to you that will help with differentiating skills lessons in your class. The first resource that Core Knowledge provides is the Assessment and Remediation Guide. This guide is provided for all grade levels. There is an assessment remediation guide designed for each unit for grades K through 1. All the units for grade 2 have been combined in one big assessment remediation guide. The purpose of the assessment remediation guide is to provide additional instruction and practice to students on skills taught for phonics, fluency, and comprehension. This guide has a ton of tasks that can be tailored to fit the needs of your students. The next resource are the review lessons within the skills unit. There are several points within each skills unit for review lessons. The tasks found here can be used as review or remediation for your students. The pausing point is another great resource. Just as it is found in the listening and learning strand, it is found in the skills strand towards the end of each unit. There are many tasks that students can complete for review, remediation, or enrichment. One of the key ways to differentiate instruction in a skills lesson is to scaffold text for students. Within the skills lesson, many scaffolds are already built in. We will take a look at a skills lesson. The lesson we will look at is taken from grade 1, unit 4, lesson 2. Locate the folder entitled CK Part 9. You will find two documents, the lesson plan and the excerpt from the student reader. They are entitled CK Part 9, Slide 106, Lesson 2, in CK Part 9, Slide 106, Meet Burn. Pause the webinar and read the sample CK skills lesson. As you're reading through the lesson, I want you to reflect on the following questions and jot down your answers. What scaffolds or supports are already built into this lesson plan? What additional scaffolds would indicate the teacher has carefully considered the language demands of this content? Pause the webinar, read through the lesson, and reflect on these questions. Some scaffold and supports that are already built into this lesson include reviewing the sound, allowing students to complete a word sort that contains words with that sound, reviewing contractions before reading, since they will be considering a few contractions in the story that they will read for the day in the reader. Building background knowledge on the topic of the story, as well as through previewing the table of contents in the reader. Additional scaffolds that could be included are allowing students to read aloud paragraph by paragraph, reread the story a second or even a third time to give all students the opportunity to read aloud, as well as solidify student comprehension of the text. Guide the class through a discussion of the story by using the discussion questions that are provided in the lesson plan. And then finally, the take-home material that students are to take home, it will give them more practice with the sound. Part 9 focused on how to provide interventions and differentiated instruction in your class. Core Knowledge provides several resources that you can use for these interventions. Now take the time and think about the following questions. What scaffolds from this section will best support your students? How can you ensure that students will complete tasks at their own independent levels? Take a moment, pause this video, and answer these 2 questions. Be sure to post your responses to the discussion board. Thank you for listening to Part 9, Skill Strand, Intervention and Differentiation.